Hello everyone, this is Glenda and welcome back to Creative Grandma. Today's tutorial is going to be for pattern number 605. This is called the My Little Sweetie Baby Afghan. I was at the store and I seen the Premier Parfait Layers yarn. It's a nice soft plushy yarn, and I seen this beautiful pink yarn here, and this color number is color number 107012, and it's called the Bowl of Cherries. Just beautiful pinks and just a multicolored, like with the white with the pinks through it, which is here, so you get that dark pink, the multicolor, and then that light pink, and it just creates a self-striping yarn. And I made my Afghan in the pink because of Valentine's Day, so that's why I chose the pink. Wonderful for a little girl. And when I was there, I also seen this blue, and this is color number 1070-05, and this is called Frosty Blues. Look at those gorgeous shades of blue, the dark blue, the light blue, and then that white with the multicolors of blue through it. So I think both colors are excellent. You can make it for a little girl, you can make it for a little boy, or you can buy any color and make it the color of your choice. It just has a beautiful texture on the front, and when you flip it over, it has that nice soft flat side for laying against the baby. It's just a nice soft cushy blanket, just one that you just want to cuddle in. It's so soft, you're going to love it. So let's get to it. You need 3 cakes of whichever color you prefer, and you're going to need a crochet hook size 10.5K or 6.5 millimeter. Now this pattern is available on my website, and I have the link in the description box. So grab your yarn, grab your hook, and let's get started. To begin our project, I already have my yarn attached to my hook, and again, I am using a size 10.5 US size K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter. So I just tied my yarn with a double knot, and we're going to start and chain 100 chains. So to make a chain, you put the yarn over your hook and you pull it through the loop on your hook. This creates your first chain. The loop on your hook does not count as a chain. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the loop. That's your second chain. Yarn over, pull through, that's 3. Yarn over, pull through, and that's 4. Continue until you have a total of 100 chains. I'll be back and we'll get row 1 started. I'm back. I have my chain with 100 chains. It's a little bit long, so it's hard to get in the full video. So now I'm going to zoom up and we're going to get row 1 started. Row 1 is a simple single crochet row. So let me zoom back up. So to begin row 1, we're going to skip that first chain. We're going to insert our hook into the second chain, and we're going to work a single crochet. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your first single crochet. We're going to do that in each chain across. Insert your hook into the next chain. Yarn over, pull through the chain. You have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made another single crochet. Insert your hook into the next chain and work a single crochet. That is all you're going to do across your chain. Insert your hook into the next chain. Work a single crochet. Now when you're working with this plush yarn, sometimes it's hard to see your stitches, so just take your finger and you can push it together and you'll see the hole open up. If you pull on it, it tightens it and it makes it harder to see. So loosen up, and when you loosen up, you can see how those holes are opening up. Just push it towards your work that you completed, and you can see a hole here, a hole here. Just kind of push it towards your work and look for those open holes. I hope you can see them. Here, here, here. Insert into the next chain and work a single crochet. insert into the next chain, and work a single crochet. Continue working 1 single crochet in each chain across. I'll be back when I finish row 1. I'm over at the end of row 1, and this is what your work should look like. You should have 1 single crochet in each chain across, and when you're all finished, you should have a total of 99 single crochet. So before we start row 2, I want you to go back to the beginning of where you started. Start with this very first single crochet and just do a double stitch count and count those single crochets and make sure you have a total of 99 single crochet. Now you chained 100, but because you start the first stitch in that second chain, you lose a stitch. So you should have a total of 99 single crochet. And if you don't have 99, redo that first row because it's very important, or your stitch pattern for this Afghan won't come out. So just do a double stitch count, make sure there's 99 single crochet, and I'll be back and we'll get row 2 started. Now we're ready to start row 2, so we're going to begin and chain 1. You're going to turn your work. We're going to skip this beginning chain 1, and you're going to come down into this beginning single crochet. So skip the chain 1, insert your hook into that first single crochet of the row, and work a single crochet. Now we're going to begin our repeat. We're going to work a triple crochet into the next stitch and a single crochet into the next stitch, and that will be our repeat. You're going to yarn over the hook twice. You're going to insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through the stitch. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. You're going to insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Yarn over, pull through that stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. You just made your single crochet. So what's happening is this triple crochet here that we're making creates that little bump for that texture on our Afghan. Now with this pattern, row 1 will be classified as the wrong side of the work, and when you do the even number rows, that will be the right side of your work where these puff stitches are. So let's begin the repeat again. You're going to work a triple crochet into the next stitch and a single crochet into the next. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert into that next stitch and work a triple crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch. Work a single crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do it one more time. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that next stitch, and work your triple crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's all there is to it, and if you look at your work, you can see how those triples are sticking up and forming that texture. Continue working the repeat. Work a triple crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next, repeat that across the row. You will end with a single crochet into your last stitch across, and I'll meet you at the end of row 2. I'm over towards the end of row 2 and I have 2 stitches remaining. And when you look at your work, again, I do this for mostly newer crocheters. So you can tell this is a stitch here. So we're going to do our triple. So I'm inserting into that next to the last stitch and doing my triple crochet. and then we're going to work into that last stitch. So a lot of times, new crocheters, the biggest trouble you have is not knowing where your first and last stitch are, and that's why sometimes your work will get smaller or larger. So with this pattern, after you make your triple, you know that you should have one more stitch to go for this row. So look down and try to find that heart shape, or you can look for that horizontal bar that shows your stitch here. Insert underneath those top 2 strands of that last stitch and work your single crochet. And row 2 is finished, and you can see how straight your edge is. And this is what your work should look like. I'm going to zoom out a little so you can see more of the work. You have your single crochet, then your triple, single crochet, triple. You work that around, and you can see just the nice texture on this row. You can see how those triples are popping up to form that texture. Now we're going to go ahead and do row 3. Row 3 is a really simple basic row of just regular single crochet. We're going to start our row 3 and chain 1. You're going to turn your work. We're going to skip this first chain 1 space, and you're going to come down to that first single crochet of the row, insert your hook under the top 2 strands, and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the top of the next stitch. Now when you look at it on the wrong side, it's a little harder to see, so just turn your work ever so slightly and you can see the little heart shaped. There's a stitch, and you may have to pull your work a little. Here's your next stitch, and so on. Insert your hook underneath the top 2 strands of the next stitch and work a single crochet. Insert your hook underneath the top 2 strands of the next stitch and work a single crochet. And again, if you're not sure, just pull on your work a little and you can see that next stitch is right here. If you turn it, you can see that little heart shaped here. Insert underneath the top 2 strands of that stitch and work a single crochet. I'll show you one more time. Insert your hook under the top 2 strands of that next stitch and work a single crochet. Continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch across. I will meet you at the end of row 3. I'm over at the end of row 3 and I have 1 stitch to go. And again, for new crocheters, this is the worst spot for them to learn how to start and stop a row, and this determines whether your work is nice and straight. So when you get over to the end of your work, you can turn your work and see you have this 1 stitch remaining, or what I like to tell my subscribers is that there's a little strand of yarn that goes across the end of the row that I call my rainbow. So when you get over to the end of the row, this stitch is straight across, and then you have your little rainbow stitch that goes clear across from front to back, and that's how I know this is the end of my row. So I'm going to see I have a stitch, and then I'm going to single crochet into that last stitch. And there is my rainbow saying this is the end of the row. I worked into that last stitch. Row 3 is finished, and when you look at your work, this is the wrong side and it's nice and flat and smooth. So now we're going to start row 4, and we're going to start with a chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. When you turn your work, then you're going to notice the texture. The texture is on the right side of your work. So for row 4, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same stitch pattern for row 2, only we're starting and stopping in a different location. So row 4, we want to work these puff stitches, these triple crochet, in between these two up on our current level of work. So what we're doing is we're alternating rows 2 and 4 so those stitches are in between each other. So let's begin the row and I'll explain and show you what I mean. We're going to skip that beginning chain 1. We're going to insert our hook right into that first single crochet and work a single crochet. You can see that our puff stitch is below, so we want to work a single crochet into this next stitch. Insert into that next stitch and work a single crochet. Now we're going to begin our repeat. We're going to work a triple crochet, yarn over twice, insert into that next stitch, and work that triple crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That is the end of the repeat. And when you look at your work, you can see that this triple crochet is right in the center of the 2 triple crochets 2 rows below. So it's just really nice how it alternates and it creates that overall effect on the Afghan. So row 2 we started with 1 single crochet. Row 4 we're starting with 2 in order to get this one in the right position. So let's go ahead and do our repeat again. Yarn over twice. You're going to insert into that next stitch and work a triple crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That is the end of the repeat. So we're just going to repeat that across. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into that next stitch, and work your triple crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That is the end of the repeat. Repeat that stitch pattern across. You will end up with 1 extra stitch at the end. So work your repeat across. I will meet you at the end of row 4 and we'll be 1 stitch away from the end. So I'll meet you there. I'm over at the end of row 4. And if you look at your work, your last repeat ends right before your last stitch. So you should have 1 extra stitch at the end of the row. So now we're just going to finish that row by working a single crochet into that last stitch. And again, here is your stitch. Now this is harder to see because it's white, but here's that rainbow stitch I was telling you about that goes around the last stitch of the row. So I'm going to insert my hook into my last stitch and work a single crochet. So let me zoom out and show you your work. This is what it looks like. And if you look at your work, you can see the texture in your stitches, and the top are right in between the ones below. So very, very nice little texture. We have 1 row to go on our repeat, and that is going to be a simple single crochet row. And if you've noticed our pattern, we work the triple crochet single crochet row, we come back with a single crochet row, then we're working that triple single crochet row again, and then we're coming back with a single crochet row. So let's begin. We're going to chain 1, and this is the start of row 5. You're going to turn your work. You're going to insert your hook under the first single crochet of the row and work a single crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Just a very simple row. You're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch across. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each stitch across the row, and I will meet you at the end of row 5. I'm back and I'm over at the end of row 5, and I just wanted to show you the last stitch. Now it's easier with this pattern to see the last stitch because the yarn's kind of thick, and when you get over to the end you can tell that you have one stitch remaining because it has that pretty big space. But I also wanted to show you, here's that little rainbow, and then here is my last stitch. So I'm going to insert into the last stitch and work my single crochet. Row 5 is finished. You can see how nice and smooth it is. And now what you're going to do is you're going to turn your work and you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5 a total of 25 times. So you'll jump back here to row 2, repeat to row 5, do that 25 times. When you're done with your 25 repeats, you will be at the end of row 105. So go ahead and complete your Afghan. When I get to the end of my Afghan on row 105, I'll be back and we'll get the border started. I'm over at the end of row 105, and you should end on the wrong side of your work where your Afghan is nice and smooth and flat. So this is what it looks like. Now let me zoom out a little if I can, get more of it into the screen. So it has a nice smooth edge on the back side. So since we're at the end of 105, we're not going to fasten off. We're just going to go ahead and turn our Afghan. So now our Afghan is on the right side, and you can see all this beautiful texture. Let me get this spread out a little bit. So you see all this gorgeous texture on the right side of your work. So now we're just going to go ahead and jump right in and start our border. So this is the wrong side where we finished. And what we're going to do is we're just going to turn our work over to the right side. You keep your hook right where you ended in row 105. We're going to start with the chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and this beginning chain 3 counts as the first double crochet into this first stitch. So now we're going to jump over to the second stitch to make our first double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into the next stitch under the top 2 loops, and work a double crochet. And if you don't know how to work a double crochet, you're going to yarn over the hook, insert it under the top 2 loops of the next stitch, yarn over the hook, bring it back through that stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops, yarn over and pull it through 2 loops. That's a double crochet. You're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch across to the corner. So yarn over the hook, insert into the next stitch, and work a double crochet. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over the hook, insert into that next stitch, and work a double crochet. Continue working 1 double crochet in each stitch across. I will meet you at the end of the top of the Afghan. I just worked across the top of the Afghan, and you can see our double crochet stitches. It just gives a nice flat edging to this texture. So we're over to that last stitch at the top of the blanket. So let me zoom back in. Now we're going to work right down the side of the Afghan. So if you're new to crocheting, this might confuse you to where your row ends are. So what you do is you just kind of follow that out. Here's our single crochet row. There's our end stitch. Then the next row you know has the triple, so follow that triple over. This is the end of that row. You have a single crochet row under it. You can see your single crochet stitches. Follow them out to the edge. This is the end of that row. Here's your triple. Here's the end of that row. That's the best way I can describe it, is to go back and look for your stitches here and follow them out to the end. So to work down the length, we worked our double crochet into the last stitch across the top. Now we're going to chain 1. We're going to work one more double crochet into this last stitch, but we're going into the side of the stitch where the row ends. So yarn over the hook, insert into the row end stitch, which is the side of the same stitch that we ended the top of the Afghan with, and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into the next row end stitch. You can see your triple crochet here. Follow it out. Here's the end of the row. You're going to work right around the post of that row end stitch, go underneath the post of that stitch, and work your double crochet. Yarn over the hook, look for your next row end stitch. We already worked in this row end stitch. We're looking for our single crochet row end stitch. Here's our single crochet. We're going to follow them out, insert into that row end stitch, and work your double crochet. And you're just going to continue working in that manner. Yarn over the hook, find your next row end stitch, insert your hook around the post of that stitch, and if you have to, you can spread it apart and look for those holes, because the holes are where the row end stitches are. So I don't know if you can see that good enough. Here is the row end stitch. Here's the next hole, that's the next row end stitch. Here's the next hole, and so on. So I hope that helps. Okay. Yarn over the hook, insert into the next row end stitch, and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into the next row end stitch, and work a double crochet. You're going to continue and work one double crochet in each row end stitch down your length to the next corner. I will continue working down my length, and I will meet you when I get to the next corner. I just worked down the side of our Afghan. This is the second side. We worked down our length, and you should have one double crochet in each row end stitch down to that next corner. It just has a really nice flat even edge to our Afghan. So now let me zoom back up and we'll do our corner. We're going to start and chain one. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to be working across the bottom of our Afghan in that foundation chain. Now sometimes this is hard as well for a new crocheter. So what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet into the same space that you just worked that last double crochet. And I'm sorry this ended on the multicolor, so I hope you can see it clearly. When you work down your end, this was the last row end stitch, you double crocheted and we chained one. We're going to yarn over, insert back into that same row end stitch, which would be the first chain going across the foundation row, and we're going to work a double crochet. Now we're going to work one double crochet in each chain across that foundation row. Now you can see the chains here. Now we're going to work one double crochet in the base of each stitch across on that foundation row. Now you can see the chains of the foundation row, but what I like to do is I like to look for the next stitch. Here's my next stitch. I yarn over, I insert, I follow that stitch right down to the base of that stitch. I insert my hook and I work a double crochet. It's easier to follow the stitch down, and that's how I find the chain. So yarn over, insert into the base of that next stitch, and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, find your next stitch, it's right here, insert your hook, and work a double crochet. It's a little hard to see because we have this multicolor, but here's the two strands of that stitch, here's the two strands of the next stitch, and so on. Or you can try to see these chains. Yarn over, insert into the base of the next stitch, and work a double crochet. Continue working one double crochet in each chain across that foundation chain row, or you can double crochet at the base of each stitch, whichever is easier for you to find. I'll meet you at the end of the foundation row, and then we'll work our corner. I'm over at the end of our foundation row on our third side, and again you should have one double crochet stitch in each of those chains across that foundation chain. So now we're going to work on our fourth and final side of our Afghan. We're going to begin with a chain 1. We're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that same stitch as the last stitch made. You made a double crochet into that last chain across the foundation row. You chained 1 for the corner, and now we're going to work a double crochet into that same stitch, and this will count as the first double crochet down our length in the first row end stitch. You're just going to repeat what you did on the second side. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each row end stitch down the length. So yarn over the hook, insert into the next row end stitch, and work a double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next row end stitch, and you're working around the post of that end stitch, and work that double crochet. So continue and work 1 double crochet in each row end stitch down your length on that fourth side, and I will meet you at the next corner. I just worked down my fourth side, and you should have 1 double crochet in each row end stitch. And when you get to the end of the fourth side, you will see you may have trouble if you're new. So when you get over, you can track that double crochet down to where that second row where the triple is, and then you have 1 more row end stitch right here. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that last row end stitch right at the base of that beginning chain 3, and work a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and this forms our last corner, and then we're going to count up to the top of that beginning chain 3, 1, 2, 3, insert your hook, and you're going to slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull it through the loop on your hook. So when you look at your Afghan, I'm going to zoom out as much as I can. So when you look at your Afghan, you can start seeing that double crochet border. It's just nice and flat, and it kind of separates this texture into a more flat border to keep the focus on the center of the Afghan. So I'll be back and we'll get round 2 started. I'm back and we're getting ready to start round 2. Now round 2 is going to be a lot easier because you're going to be able to see those stitches, and you're going to be able to see the tops, and very easy to work in. We're going to go ahead and start round 2 with a chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet and our first stitch of the round. We're going to yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a double crochet. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch across to our next corner chain 1 space. Yarn over the hook, insert into that next stitch, and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that next stitch right underneath those 2 loops of that stitch, and work a double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into the next stitch, and work a double crochet. Continue working 1 double crochet in each stitch across to that next corner chain 1 space, and I'll meet you there. I'm over to my first corner chain 1 space here. So we worked across the top of our Afghan. You worked a double crochet into that last double crochet across, and then you have your chain 1 space. So to turn your corner, we're going to work 3 double crochet into the chain 1 space. Yarn over the hook, insert into the chain 1 space, and work a double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner chain 1 space, work a double crochet. That's 2. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same corner, chain 1 space, and work a double crochet, and that's 3. And that is the end of the repeat. So now you're going to repeat 1 double crochet in each stitch across to your next corner, chain 1 space. When you get to the corner, chain 1 space, you're going to work 3 double crochet and then start all over again and work 1 double crochet in each double crochet across the next side. When you come to the chain 1 space, you're going to work 3 double crochet. Continue around. You will end with 3 double crochet in your ending chain 1 space, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at the end of round 2, and you can see I just finished with my 3 double crochet into our last corner chain 1 space, and then we have our beginning chain 3 over here. We're going to join our round by counting up to the top of that beginning chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Insert your hook into the top of that chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. Our Afghan is finished. I'm going to fasten off my work. I usually chain 2, 1, 2. I take my hook and I pull that strand out, and then I just pull down and it knots my yarn. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to zoom out just a little so you can kind of see some of the Afghan. It's hard to see because it's big and I just have a small table here. Now the color does change in this, so part of it's going to be dark pink, part of it will be light pink, and part of this will be multicolor. So let me weave in my ends and I'll be back and show you the finished Afghan laying out. Our Afghan is finished, and this is what it should look like. Depending on how you started your skein of yarn, you may have a different color pattern on your Afghan. I had a lot of fun doing this crochet along with all my subscribers, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. The pattern again is pattern number 605, the My Little Sweetie Baby Afghan, and it's available on my website, creativegrandma.net, and I'll also include the link in my description box. Thank you everyone, and please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the crochet fun. Happy crocheting!